have an appointment, and so I wanted to kind of get this series going. And I'm going to explain my eyebrows, but basically I am tinting. This is like eyebrow tint, but this eyebrow tint doesn't work well unless you leave it on overnight, so that's what I did. So now I'm just about to take it off. Today I have an appointment with TSA, like a TSA appointment for my Hazmat endorsement. At first, like literally last night, I didn't know if they were going to be taking a photo or not. So I just wanted to, you know, do a little 1-2, you know what I mean, to my face. And like, you know, if y'all don't know by the title of this video, your girl is on a journey to acquire a Class A CDL. Because if you already notice, if you're, you know, not new here, I already lived the lifestyle. Like, I already lived the lifestyle. Like, apart from like the actual skills, knowledge, and like driving portion, I already lived the lifestyle. So I'm like, you know what? I might as well, right? And if y'all haven't seen one of my previous videos, my compensations of a grown man video, then I'm just going to put it somewhere in the video. But basically, I was talking about how my downfall for a lot of these jobs is normally like coworkers or like bosses, and just like not being able to dictate, you know, a big portion of the job, which makes me either want to basically leave the job because it's just super unorganized, or, you know, there's just coworkers that just don't want to see you win, and like any little mistake that you do, they're gonna report you and then you lose your job. So that has been my experience so far, and I'm just over it. So I'm like, you know what, let me try this trucking thing. I have looked high and low for a good trucking school, and I finally came across one at a community college, which I recommend you go to a community college, because for one, they're more likely to have like grants and stuff like that for you, and then also they are just a little bit more organized. All of the regular CDL schools that I looked into, I mean, I'm talking from California, or Oregon, Washington, Nevada, Arizona, all the CDL schools, they all had like the same type of review where it's like, you know, I paid all this money and, you know, they're nice and friendly until I gave them like my $3,000, $4,000, $6,000. And then like the class is like filled to the brim with like 10 to 20 to 30 people. And only like people are only able to get like a few hours of drive time and stuff like that. So the class that I'm attending so far only has one student. And who's that one student? Me. And there's a potential other student, but it's not like official yet. And I decided to go to a California CDL school because the California CDL school that I'm going to also, in the tuition, it also includes you being able to utilize their truck to do your skills test at the DMV, which is great, because if I do a CDL school in like Arizona or Nevada or Oregon or even Washington, then I would have to figure out how to facilitate, you know, the skills test on my own. And I just did not want to have to do that. So yeah, I bought this cute little notebook. Yeah, she's so cute. And I've been taking my notes, my CDL notes so far. Yeah, I'm not playing around. And I also, in the handbook, I printed out some photos at the Walmart. I printed out photos of the little figurines and stuff that they had. All the like little, you know, figurines that they had in the handbook. So I'm gonna like basically, once I get to that part of the handbook, I'm gonna paste it in my notebook, so I have all of my notes ready, because I don't know exactly what's gonna be discussed in class. My class is kind of self-paced because I'm gonna have to study and acquire my CLP, my commercial learnings permit, by myself, and then I'm gonna have to acquire my ELDT, you know, information and stuff by myself, as well as like my Hazmat. You know, I have to do all that by myself, right? Some schools kind of like walk you through the entire process from start to finish, but like I'm competent enough, right? And to save a little coin, I'm competent enough to basically do majority of the beginning stuff on my own. So yeah, so that's basically where we are. So first things first, I wanted to study for my CLP, and then in between now and then I have my TSA appointment, which is today, for my Hazmat, and then I have my DOT exam that I have to schedule sometime today, hopefully within the next week. And then I have, what else do I need to do? I wrote down some notes. And then I also have to do my ELDT training and stuff like that, which is probably only going to take me like 2 days at most. So I have that I need to get through as well, because the CLP handbook is a lot to get through. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it took, like, my thing is, like, before I even write down any notes, I have to understand what I'm writing. I'm not just gonna copy, you know, what I think is important on my notes. Like, I have to understand it. Okay, I get it. Let me write it down. And then once I write it down, it kind of just like seals the deal in my brain. But let me see what else. My CLP, my ELDT, my DOT, the series that I'm creating is basically going to encompass all of that stuff. And so I'm gonna take you guys along with me, obviously, because I don't know what's gonna happen. That's why I'm taking y'all along with me, right? We love that. I mean, I don't really have any like concerns because I'm really good at taking my notes. We'll see. Since the class is going to be extremely small, I'm assuming that I'm going to have like a nice one-on-one with the teacher. So as far as the endorsements that I want, obviously I wanted Hazmat. I wanted to get the triples and doubles endorsement, but I don't know if my school is going to allow me to train for triples and doubles, but I'm still going to put that endorsement on my CLP because the tanker, Hazmat, and triples and doubles all is encompassed in one fee of $59. So I'm obviously going to take the tanker endorsement as well. Yeah, and I was thinking about also doing the firefighter endorsement because your girl, you know what I mean? If I'm gonna do this, I might as well go hard or go home, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to basically do all the endorsements. I have them written down right here in my notes, and then I put like a little asterisk next to the ones that I want to do. Unfortunately, for the school bus endorsement and the passenger endorsement, I'm not getting those for now because, for one, you have to actually do the testing portion, like the driving portion, in an actual school bus, which means you have to actually rent a school bus. And if your school doesn't have like access to those vehicles, then you're kind of kaput, you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna leave those, but I'm gonna just try to get all the endorsements that I can in the meantime, because I want to be able to cast my net of employment far and wide, right? So that's why I'm even going for my Class A, but it's definitely gonna open up a new world for me, so I'm really excited for that. So anyway, I want to stop rambling because I have to get ready for my appointment. All right, I am done. It went pretty well. It went really fast. Like, it took less than like 10 minutes, like literally less than 10 minutes. My appointment was at 12:20 and it's 12:30. They just asked you a bunch of questions, but most questions you already, you just answer on the pre-appointment where you apply online. So I just had to basically verify everything, and yeah, they took my thumbprint, but they didn't even take a photo. I needed to give them my passport and my driver's license, which I hope yeah, it took 10 minutes. She said that it could take as less than 2 days, or like between like 2 to 3 days, in like 2 weeks. My test is in about 2 weeks. So I'm hoping that it clears before then so I can have it on my CLP when I apply for it. But we're gonna see. But yeah, pretty simple process. The cost was $85 roughly. And then I'm gonna have to pay the $59 for the actual endorsement on my CLP CDL, which is like $59 in California for the tanker, Hazmat, and then triples, doubles. So as I was walking in to the freaking Hazmat office or whatever, I saw 444, and as I was walking out, I saw 333 literally next to the 444. So I'm just like, girl, I'll talk to y'all later. Hey y'all. So it's like a couple of days later. As you can see, my eyebrows, yeah, eating. So I just got back from my DOT appointment. Oh my gosh. Okay, technically I was gonna like film the process of me going there, but I'm just like, I'm gonna tell you all about it. It was $105. So I just had to go ahead and just like get that out the way. It probably took like, it definitely took less than like 30 minutes. For the appointment alone, for the exam alone, it took like, I want to say 10, maybe 15 minutes, but like 10 to 15 minutes. And I just put, you know, I just searched DOT exam near me, you know how I ask. Because I don't really have a PCP at the moment. Whatever address is on the ID that you give them, right? That's the address that's going on the paper. So just be mindful of that. And what else? So yeah, they take your blood pressure, they check your ears, they check your stomach for hernias, they check your like depth of vision, they check your hearing, they check your eyesight. You have to take an eye exam, which is really just like you, like, you know, when you stand at like a certain ways away from the, you know, thingy midget. I'm sorry, y'all. I literally was up all night trying to take down my braids, and your girl didn't get enough sleep. But you know, the eye exam, like where you have to read off the letters, right? You have to stand, you know, ways away from the letters, and you have to read off the letters. So basically, yeah, they did that. They did what else? You know, ask you like, do you drink? Do you smoke? You know, all of that stuff I went ahead and I filled out online. And then they also took like a urine test, but the urine analysis, in the event anybody needs to know, the urine analysis is not a drug test. They check if there's any like, you know, blood in your urine, proteins or sugars in your urine to like basically check your health. So this is just a health checkup. But yeah, so that's basically my DOT exam. Nothing like, it's just really short, real sweet, you know what I'm saying? Your girl's blood pressure is 122/78. The next thing up should be my CLP exam, which is in exactly about a week and 1 day. So I have like 8 days for my exam. I'm still taking my notes. I'm still studying for it. So yeah, y'all, I will see y'all on my CLP exam day. All right, hold on, there we go. I don't know if you guys can see. You guys can't see it, but it's cold in my van. It's snowing outside, and I have my candles going. I have 2 candles going. I know it's not doing anything, but in the event I need to just warm up my fingers really quick, once the wax melts, I can like just touch the candle, and it kind of works as like a hot hands, like, you know, the hot hands thing. So yeah, I am laying in bed because I'm underneath my heated blanket doing my notes. Literally, I'm on the Hazmat section, and I'm on page 154. So technically I have about 40 pages left. 10 of those pages is the school bus, which I don't really plan on, you know, doing extensive notes on that. All right, y'all, so I was saying that I have my candles because when I woke up this morning, it was 45 degrees in the van. So I have my candles. I have this one going and I have this one going, and I know like CO2 or whatever, but I just needed them to go for a little bit. It does exude heat. It's not a whole lot. Like for reference, it was 45 degrees. Now it is 59 degrees in the van. So I'll take like a 10-degree increase. I feel like for me, it's comfortable anywhere like around 60. It's comfortable now. As far as how cold it is outside, it is 31 degrees outside. And I'm getting ready to go to FedEx to print out the rest of the handbook, because y'all, not only am I running out of pages, but look at this. This is the only pages I have left. Now, mind you, this is a 120 page, like front and back, 120 page notebook, and I filled it up. Now, I'm glad that I actually did it this way, because I could have just printed out the entire handbook itself. Now, if I did that, it was going to cost me like $40, because it's like 24 cents per page. So it would have costed me like $40, almost $50. the handbook is roughly 200 pages long. I was able to, it's a little over 200 pages long, but I was able to cut it down and kind of remove some pages that are just like ads and pages that I didn't need to study. And I got it down to 195. But I'm glad that I did it this way because it kind of allows me to, you know, write my own notes. And then also when I go to my actual CDL school, I can like refer back to my notebook and then add more notes that the handbook did not include. Now, I do have some pages on the end. I finished the hazmat section. That section was long, not as long as section 2, but it was pretty lengthy. Took me like a day and a half to complete. Now the next section is school bus, and then after that we have just like the like basically recap on the skills test, the inspection test, the glossary, and some other things I forgot, but that I'll just print out because it is literally 3 p.m. My test is in exactly 24 hours from now. In 24 hours, I will be getting ready to take my CLP test, which right now I'm not super nervous about. I want to say that with the way I studied, I'm like 70% sure that I'm going to pass. I believe the doubles and triples don't require a skills test, but we're going to see, obviously, when I get there. Tomorrow I can ask them, and I have to make sure I write down my questions too, but I want to see if that requires a skills test because I'm not sure if the school I'm going to actually has like doubles and triples and stuff like that, if they teach that, right? But the hazmat section does not require a skills test, obviously, because if you have a CLP, you can't even transport any hazmat loaded CMVs anyway. I already did my TSA, you know, thing. It did not come back yet. It's been, I want to say, a little over a week. It still has not come back yet. There is a chance that it can come back by tomorrow, but I'm not entirely sure. I have been checking my emails, but it might actually take a little bit longer. But I'm still going to take the knowledge test because obviously by the time I'm finished with my skills test, then it should be, you know, ready to go. And then yeah, Tinker was pretty easy. It was just like a few pages. I'm about to close these candles because I'm headed to FedEx so that I can basically print out the rest of the handbook, because the school bus section I'm not going to do because you need the passenger endorsement, and that you need to take the skills test in a passenger 15 plus vehicle, which like I said before, I don't know if my school has that. The school that I chose has all of that. It's just a whole other section, and it's like $100 to add on those endorsements. I need to scrape off the freaking snow off my vehicle because it snowed again. Literally, I was up until like, I want to say 3 o'clock last night, and it didn't snow. I think it started snowing like earlier this morning, like around 7-ish, but we're looking at, I want to say, looks like 3 inches of snow for the past like maybe 10 hours. So it's coming down pretty hard. But yeah, I need to make sure that my exhaust pipe isn't blocked so that I can you know, get out of here. So that's what I'm gonna do, because we don't have time. Like, and now that I think about it, like I could have just printed out the handbook, but I like the way I did my notes because it kind of allows me to stick easier, like reading it and having to rewrite it down, right? It kind of just sticks a lot better for me, instead of just like reading it and highlighting it and just like constantly reading it and constantly reading it, you know, like writing it actually writing it down is better. And then also like utilizing my ChatGPT to like assist me with any portions that just isn't really explained correctly, or any like terms that weren't explained, or whatever the case may be. I need to figure out what I'm going to do with my hair. I don't know if they are going to take my picture for the permit test, because when I got my driver's license when I was 18, like, mind you, my freaking driver's license picture is like an 18-year-old me. That was my permit picture. So when I went to go take my permit test, they took my picture and they used that same picture for my driver's license, which is stupid. I feel like they should do it in a way where, like, once you get your actual license and you pass your skills test, then that's when they take your picture, because that's what everybody assumes, right? So I don't know, we'll see. That's why I want to come prepared. If they don't end up taking my picture, even better, because then it'll give me a little bit more time to like really understand what I want to look like on my driver's license for the next 20 years, right? Yeah.
So we are on the way to the DMV. I have to drive from Reno to Truckee, California, because obviously I'm a resident of California, so I have to take my permit test in a California DMV. If I sound low energy, I am. I was up kind of late last night, and then also I was just studying a lot this morning, and there's traffic, so that's kind of making me a little bit irritable. And I didn't eat yet, so I wanted to make sure I left at a decent time, because I knew it was going to take me at least an hour. It's a 40-minute drive, but I knew it was going to take me a little over an hour, which it is. It's going to take me an hour and 20 minutes. I'm assuming because all of the trucks that basically had to stop because it was snowing. It was snowing for the past like 3-4 days, as you guys can see. And I think they had to stop, and now they're now that the ice is starting to melt and the sun is like beaming now at this point, the ice is starting to melt, so they're able to like proceed with caution essentially. So it's kind of causing a little bit of traffic, but either way, I planned on leaving early anyway, regardless of if there was going to be traffic or not. And then by the time I get there, I'm going to do more studying, I'm going to eat some breakfast, and yeah, I'm wearing my mask because it's very sunny, and I'm also wearing my shades because the sunlight is reflecting off of the snow and just making everything so freaking bright. So that's why I'm wearing my mask. But yeah, y'all, I'm not gonna make this portion too long. I will talk to y'all after I pass my exam. I'm feeling 80% with the main test that I have to take. I'm feeling 80% with that. But the other ones, I'm not sure. I haven't had a chance to really study the other ones, but I'm about to watch some videos to help me study while I'm driving, so that the hour that it takes me to get there is not going in vain.